At this point in time, I think Nikola Jokic may be his own nemesis. Seriously, the man scored a shot at the buzzer, a shot that makes both the crowd and players go crazy, and his reaction was just, meh, another day at the office. Anthony Davis, the defender on him, looked at him and smiled, but Jokic wasn't fazed. He headed straight for the tunnel. Jordan Poole thought he was Ronaldo when he hit 2 buzzer beaters against the Celtics in last year's finals. Austin Reeves went crazy after hitting a buzzer beater against the Warriors, and no offense to Steph Curry, but even he showed more emotion when he missed a shot to tie the first game in their round 1 series against the Kings. But Nikola Jokic for some reason is more of a horse guy, and someone who loves dancing. In my opinion, Jokic was the best player in the regular season, and he has been the best player by far in the 2023 playoffs, putting up numbers that would earn any other NBA superstar the number 1 spot in the argument for who the best player in the world is. But in spite of Jokic doing what no one has ever done before, averaging 30 points, 13 rebounds and 10 assists on 53, 47 and 78 shooting splits, all while leading the Denver Nuggets to their first ever NBA Finals, I don't see so much noise on the case for him being the best player in the world. For years in the NBA, there have been arguments on whether there's a difference between the MVP and best player in the league. This is an argument that is quite driven by subjective opinions and narratives. The most popular case being when Steve Nash won the MVP award over Shaquille in 2005. Nash won the award because he was the motor in the team that was the top-seeded team in the West. This year, Embiid was crowned the MVP after leading Philly to the 3rd record in the East and leading the league in scoring. But the numbers from the regular season and the postseason suggest he is not the best player in the NBA. Among the players who finished top 3 in MVP voting, only Jokic's absence on the court made this team a losing team. The 76ers won 69% of their games without Embiid. The Bucks won 58% of their games without Giannis. But the Denver Nuggets lost 61% of their games without Jokic. And among the players who finished top 10 in MVP voting, only the Mavs without Luka were a worse team than the Nuggets. To put things in perspective, the Nuggets had as many wins with Jokic on the floor as the Kings had their entire season with both Sabonis and Fox, and they had 10 more wins than the Mavs managed the entire season. You know, Jokic reminds me of 2 former NBA greats who received similar treatment by the media and basketball fans worldwide, Tim Duncan and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. This is TD's numbers and achievements placed side by side with that of the late Kobe Bryant. I'll give you 5 seconds to guess what column belongs to TD and which belongs to Kobe. Did you get it? I intentionally omitted stats that will give them away, such as their points per game averages and rebound per game averages. It's clear from these charts that their careers were very similar on the sheet, and a legit argument can be made for either one of them over the other. But we all know Kobe is usually said to be a top 5 player, and some ranked him as far back as 9. Personally, I never knew Tim Duncan until he got inducted into the Hall of Fame. This is partially because I haven't been watching ball all my life, but my ignorance of basketball in all those years never stopped me from hearing about Kobe, MJ, Lebron, Shaq, and the likes. As a matter of fact, Tim Duncan has practically disappeared from the news since his Hall of Fame enshrinement. Although it recently came out he may be involved with the sports to help develop Victor in the case they pick him. Check it out. Time for another quiz. The first time I heard about Kareem was from this scene in Rush Hour.
I ain't Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, push it down some more!
However, this is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's achievements placed side by side with Michael Jordan. Can you guess what column belongs to Kareem? This should have been easier because they did not have the kind of similar careers Tim and Kobe had. The goal here wasn't to compare MJ and Kareem. The goal is to say Kareem is more than a 7-foot guy who is second on the all-time scoring list. And I fear that now that he has lost the record to LeBron James, in 5 to 10 years he may be forgotten altogether. Because one thing Kareem, Jokic and Tim Duncan have in common is that they are boring. And boring in the NBA usually equals to less media attention. Tim Duncan was so boring he was literally named the big fundamental because he just played basic basketball. He didn't play with the visible energy of Kobe. He wasn't as dominant as Shaq in the paint. He was just a calm guy who did what he had to do on the court without the need of flashy, highlight-worthy moves. I could even say Ja Morant generates more highlights per season than Duncan generated his entire career. But in Duncan big fundamentalized his way to 5 rings and never winning less than 50 games in a season. In Shaq's words, I could talk trash to Patrick Ewing, get in David Robinson's face, get a rise out of Alonzo Mourning, but when I went to Tim, he had looked at me like he was bored. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was a 7-foot giant who skyhooked his way to 38,000 points, 6 championships and 6 MVPs in 20 years. He was so Kareem, Magic Johnson said he warned him for being too ecstatic after a win during his rookie season. In a fast-paced basketball era, Nikola Jokic is slow. He reminds me of tough. Wait, listen, strike. Splitting defenses with passes no other big man in the history of the NBA could generate. He sometimes looks like he doesn't jump when taking shots. be it a layup, a dunk, or even a 3-point shot. But whatever he does, his game is marked by efficiency. As basketball fans, we need to ask ourselves, is it really different if someone kills with a machine gun or with silent gas? In my opinion, winning is what matters the most. Before the 2023 playoffs started, although the Nuggets were by far the best team in the West, the odds favored the Suns, Warriors, and sometimes even the Lakers over the Nuggets to represent the Western Conference in the NBA Finals, with many people saying they wouldn't make it past the second round of the playoffs. And when they got matched with the Phoenix Suns, playing against Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, CP3 and the gang, many predicted the Suns would win in 6. But this is what Nikola Jokic did in that series. Game 1, 24, 19 and 5. Game 2, 39, 16 and 5. Game 3, he went up for a triple-double with 30, 17 and 17. Game 4, 53, 4 and 11. Game 5, 29, 13 and 12. Game 6, 32, 12 and 10. Jokic averaged a massive triple-double with 35 points, 13 rebounds and 10 assists against the Suns. And he wasn't just putting up the numbers, he was doing it the best way he does things, with great efficiency. He shot them near 60% from the field and better than 40% from behind the arc. And when it was time to meet the Lakers, there were conversations on how Anthony Davis would be the Jokic stopper, the Nuggets have no rim protection, they would be exposed, the Lakers are a better defensive team than the Wolves and the Suns, and
Adam Davis looking to help. Shot clock at 4. Jokic has to put it up. Falling away, puts it up. Bang! Jokic just gets it off in time. It's up. Oh, it's good! Of course it goes in! Jokic from downtown! Steps back, James all over him, has to hoist it up, and knocks it in! Another circus shot goes down! And the back goes up. Oh, he lost control! Caldwell Pope to Jokic. A quick spin move inside for the dunk.
I don't know. I got a lot to think about, to be honest. And
the 2023 Irvin Magic Johnson Western Conference Finals Most Valuable Player Award goes to Nikola Jokic.
Through the first 3 quarters in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals, Jokic had the most productive first 3 quarters in NBA history, putting up a massive 31 points, 19 rebounds and 12 assists. Truth is, the Lakers have been one of the most defensive teams since the trade deadline, but there's only so much great defense can do against great offense. And the Joker is the engine behind one of the most dynamic offense in the NBA. Just like the Suns, the Joker averaged a triple-double against the Lakers, going for 27 points, 15 rebounds and 12 assists, shooting 50% from the field and 47% from behind the arc. Prior to losing out on the MVP award to Embiid, there were talks that Nikola Jokic was a fraudulent MVP because he didn't have anything to show for it in the playoffs, because for some reason, your value in the regular season is no big deal unless you can somehow replicate or even surpass it during the postseason. And like many greats before him, Nikola Jokic answered the call. These are Jokic numbers in regular season compared to the postseason. That's some good improvement, I must say. Finally averaging a triple-double must be nice, but Jokic doesn't really care about that. Through the entire playoffs, Nikola Jokic has been top 4 in scoring, rebounding and assists, but this shouldn't surprise anyone. It is what he has done all season. He recently passed Ross for 3rd place on the list of players with the most triple-doubles during the playoffs, with 8 of those coming during this postseason run. Enough to pass Wilt for the most triple-doubles in a single playoff. And for those who would love to say that he is stat padding, the Nuggets have lost only one of those games in this playoffs when he got the triple-double. And just so we are clear, here's a list of every player who have averaged a triple-double in the playoffs through the NBA's entire history. That's it. Only 4 players. And I wouldn't be lying if I said the Joker's run has been the most impressive by far. Oscar Robertson did it losing in the first round, Ross did it losing in the first round, and Jason Kidd did it going out in the second round. What we are seeing from this man on a 9-in, 9-out basis is nothing short of incredible, and it would be criminal if we did not give him his flowers. Through these playoffs, Jokic has an offensive box plus minus of 9.8. The player next to him is Devin Booker with 8.7. We have 4 other players with a score higher than 5, and every other person is a 4 or lower. As a matter of fact, Jokic is top 3 in almost every important advanced metric: defensive box plus minus, win shares per 48 minutes, offensive win shares, defensive win shares, value over replacement player, PERO. Unless I forget to say, Jokic led in every one of these metrics through the regular season as well. Talk about being the most valuable player. What Nikola Jokic has been doing in the regular season and now replicating this postseason is mind-blowing. In a short time as an NBA player, he is cementing his name as one of the best centers to ever play the game. And if he continues what he is doing for a long time, including winning the championship, no one can deny him his place as one of the greatest players of all time. So if you enjoyed this video, kindly like, subscribe, but most importantly, leave a comment down below and click on any of these cards on the right to watch other videos I think you would find interesting.